So Gordon, what is the number one asset that we would focus most of our resources on to get right?
I mean, the number one issue is undoubtedly your people. If you don't get your people well motivated, then you really can't get a good business going. And I always like to look at the analogy between a firm that's got a lot of good clients but a lot of demotivated and incapable people. And what happens clearly is that the clients will leave the firm. Compare that with a firm that's got a lot of well motivated and highly capable people but no clients. What will happen is the clients will beat a path to that firm's door. And so it's quite clear to me that the number one issue is to get your people on board and well trained. Now, the area that I find that you got to train them the most on is the whole area of value pricing, because that's the future of the firm, is the added value services. So you've got to sit down with the guys and train them how to get involved with value pricing. So the example I often give is a fictitious case where I'm a client of the firm, and let's say I ring you up, Ian, as one of the partners, or I could ring another partner, shall we say Ollie. So I ring you in the first place, and I talk about I'd like to set up a subsidiary in Malawi, I'd like to use an offshore trust in Guernsey that perhaps you set up for me, 50% shareholding, and another trust that you set up in Jersey, the other 50% shareholding, and what are the tax consequences and implications. Now what you might say is, well, you know, how much money is involved and how much you're investing, and I'll say, well, £3 or £4 million, and everyone can see and feel this value there. And you might say, well, look, this is going to take 3 or 4 full days to get back to you. And given the investment you're making, Gordon, I'm thinking of charging someone in the region of £6,000. And I'm thinking, well, that's fine. That's a good investment. And 4 days later, you phone me back with some wonderful advice. And everyone can relate to that. But on the other hand, I could have rung another partner, shall we say Ollie, and I ring up and I say the Malawi story, offshore trust, and Ollie doesn't take the view that you took by asking how much money was involved and all that stuff. He already knows the answer. So he says something like, you know, Gordon, that old chestnut, here's the answer, gives it to me over the phone there and then, and when he writes to me with the advice along with an invoice, it's going to be about £600 compared to, say, £6,000 that you've actually agreed. So I think the number one area to focus on with your people are those people that don't know the answer, people that are thick, people that are forgetful. Because if you can get these people in your firm, you will make an awful lot of money. And that seems to me the number one issue with accounting firms. Hire stupid people, forgetful people, and you'll make an absolute fortune.
Hey?
What? What?
Hey?
What?